gamers, welcome back to Season of Discovery, where the discovery has begun. Blessed be. I tell you, I know it's come across like negative in the leveling space, and yeah, like the Alliance stuff was great, and then it turned into the Alliance and Horde mix, and yeah, I fell off a little bit of the wagon and jumped into dungeons, and if I could go back, and certainly considering Season 3, I'm probably going to just hardcore dungeon grind it for the first day or so and just be done with it and get it out of the way, because it's clearly it's the way to go, because I want the discovery, and that finally happened. So my day did not go as planned at all. I planned to get in there. I dinged 38 off stream so I would have pummel, and I was ready to just destroy Cathedral, and I got all the world buffs, and I was like, right, we're going in there. Cathedral's like 25% a level, 8 runs, GG, done. So let's get it going on. Got a team immediately that was ready to do it, but that team consisted of some level 40s who were like, oh, I'm available and I can come along and get some runs done because I need some gold because I've just got my mount anyway. But if someone needs the XP, then, you know, replace me later on. I thought that was pretty cool. I also picked up the Bonebiter quest, which the weapon is one of the best weapons. It's in the top 7 anyway. I was like, well, that's simple enough to get. We just need to do SM all the way through, and we'll be fine. So did that straight away. Went to get it, and we obviously got to Cathedral. I was like, right, should we farm Cathedral? And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, is it worth going to South Shore, turning it in and getting the new weapon and coming back? Would that overall make things quicker? Right, because we just want this out of the way. But the Alliance has no real good way of getting back to Scarlet Monastery outside of a summon, and we didn't have a Warlock, and you're kind of hoping someone puts down a summon closet in the hallway to get you back. But at that point, somebody needed to swap out anyway, so I was like, okay, they're in Stormwind. Do I have time to Hearthstone to Ironforge, turn in both quests, which will give me a bunch of XP, which then cuts maybe a whole run off, and then get back? So I was like, I think I can do it. So I Hearthstoned. Got there. Went and turned the quest in. Came back. Got on the Griffin. Get into South Shore. And because the only reason I did this is on the basis of not having a summon, the other person who was also coming from Stormwind would have to run up as well. So we were waiting regardless. However, midway to South Shore, somebody drops a summon closet. Now, they don't last very long. So a summon popped up on my screen. I was like, oh god, I don't think I can make it. So the guys were like, well, the stone's still up, so we can send a resummon. But it was getting very close to the Griffin landing. So I was like, okay, maybe we can make it then. And I'm watching the clock, and it got to like, my summon ran out, and then I received another summon, 2 minutes remaining, and I can kind of see South Shore in the distance. I'm very close. I'm like, right, okay, this is possible. But there's no countdown of the timer, really. I haven't got a mod for it. I'm watching it, and then it goes to 1 minute, and I still haven't landed. I'm like, all I need to do, and then they went, the summon stone has disappeared. That's it. There's no more summons coming. So I have 1 minute, and I haven't landed yet, to land, run into the inn, go upstairs, turn it in, grab the weapon, accept the summon. It's possible. It's possible, but it's gonna be tight. As I landed, I think I had 20 seconds left, and I charge, man. I'm like, get there. I'm panicking. I've got to get in there as it's going 10, 9, 8, 7, like through the door, 6, 5, going up the stairs, 3, 2, clicked accept summon. Literally with the NPC like stood in front of me for this weapon and the XP that we should cut a run off. And as I appeared, as I materialized in Scarlet Monastery, they went, oh, another stone's here now. I was like, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Absolute nightmare. I couldn't believe it. I was like, god damn it. But it ended up interesting. So I dinged 39 very quickly, but after like a couple of runs. But then a couple of guys had to go. They needed to do stuff. So I was like, you know what? It's fine. We're like 39 and a half. Yes, I kind of want to hit level 40, have the mount to go and get the runes, but I can't afford the mount anyway. I'm still poor. So that's not going to happen. I didn't farm gold in the previous season, so I don't have 100 gold. I had like 60 gold. So I was like, well, I'm not going to get the mount anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting my runes. I'm going to have some fun, right? Because I'll ding as I go. That was my thought process. I'll get level 40 as I get the runes, and then we've got the runes, and we're good. Maybe it'll give me some gold towards the mount. So that was my game plan for the rest of the day. Oh, what fun! This was so much more fun than everything else. This was great. This was cool. Because I don't know, and still to this day, what all the runes do. And all I've got is the riddles that we've put on the website, which many of you have enjoyed. So I was like, this is going to be great. This is going to be so fun. So I got started figuring out where to go. And ironically, I think I ended up with one of the most difficult ones to get, or probably, I haven't done them all yet, in order to figure out what was going on. The first one wasn't too bad. It was like trolls wandering the highlands, so Arathi Highlands, okay, looking for a mallet. So I was going through my memory, and I'm like, right, there's trolls in like the bottom right of the map, so I'm going to go there. And I got a mallet, and then it said, bang the gong. The mallet said, bang the gong. It's like, okay. Where's the gong? So I explored the village, and this is the great stuff. It's like I'm exploring. I'm looking for new things in areas I've been before. This is why this is so fun. And then found a cave, got in there. But the gong, I found the gong, but it was protected by this massive behemoth elite. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And people were like, do you need healing? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to see how this goes. Because if I can solo it, that's more fun for me. So I cleared out the remaining trolls and was like, right, I've got everything. I've got charge. I can charge in. I can put up my flagellation buff, which is like 25% more damage. I can pop recklessness. I can sweeping strikes. I can whirlwind. My character's pretty powerful. I've got the bone biter. This should be good. So charged in and then realized this is probably what happens when you bang the gong, and the person before me probably died. And I was like, oh, okay, this is probably going to be really bad, because this thing had like 5k HP. Everything normal has like 1. So it's like 5 times more HP and an elite. With a sliver of health remaining, I overcame it, and it dropped the rune. I didn't even have to bang the gong. I was like, oh, thank God. And this is so much better than if I banged the gong and these enemies spawned on top of me. That would have been way, way worse. Got my rune, which reduced the rage cost of all abilities by 3. That's actually while on the actual stat of it is boring, the actual effect it has on gameplay is massive. Because so much, I talked about yesterday, of Warrior is about min-maxing the rage loss of swapping stances and making sure you're getting maximum value from your character. Because every point of rage you waste or don't have when you swap stances, because you might be like, oh, why can't you just activate an ability in battle stance, then swap to Berserker, and then just wait to get the rage? Is that's really inefficient to fit in 2 whirlwinds within a flagellation window. Because what you can do is sweeping strikes, Berserker stance, Berserker rage, into whirlwind, and then fill. But you can fit another whirlwind into the Berserker rage flagellation window. But if you do sweeping strikes immediately swap with not enough rage, you need 50 rage to do it. Then what happens is you run the risk of, one, you don't have enough rage to whirlwind immediately, so that's delayed, so you fit 1 inside. And it makes a difference, right? This is all the fun of World of Warcraft, is make number go up. And so you have all these things to consider. So reducing the cost by 3 makes life significantly easier. So I was like, that's awesome. That is a really cool rune. That actually has dramatic effect. Then we got to the annoying one. The clues of the riddle were, in somewhere in Alterac, you must find a recipe. And I was like, okay. Alterac doesn't actually have much going for it, right? So that's my process. You've got the Syndicate, you've got some mountain lions, and I remembered the ogre area, and some yetis. And in my mind, I pictured an ogre with a chef's hat on, stood in front of a cauldron. Somewhere I've seen that in World of Warcraft. I know I have somewhere. So I was like, I think if it's going to be a recipe, like a cooking recipe, it's likely to be an ogre. So I went to the ogres and started killing all the ogres, and nothing dropped. And I was like, so it might not be the ogres. And of course the stream's all laughing at me, because they know the answer. And I'm like, what to do here? And then I remembered, well, there is an elite area around the back, and it's possible because they've like level gated these runes that they've put them on elites. It is possible, because I don't think it's the Syndicate, but it could be, because they're humanoid. They do cook, but it's not really their vibe. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go try the elites, which the casters were really easy. The casters just got absolutely monstered. The melee, though, no. And the melee one I fought, like, I used a potion, fear, bandage, absolutely everything just to get a sliver of health. I think I finished with like 5 HP or something as it died. I got lucky at the end and got the recipe drop. I was like, oh, that's cool. I was correct. Okay. And then I got whispers of people who had been farming the non-elites for like 2 hours and not getting a drop because they had obviously wow-headed it or whatever, or used the riddles and had the same thought process as me, but we're like, well, it's probably the ogres, but the ogres just aren't dropping it and just keep farming and maybe it's a low drop rate. But generally speaking, and this is where I got mixed up, generally speaking, the rune items aren't low drop rates, or so I thought. The next clue was somewhere in the Highlands a chef stirs. Needs someone to decode this recipe because it looks like it's written in ogre. So I was like, right, ogres in Highlands. I know of 2 places off the top of my head. There's a cave in the midwest area near Refuge Point, and there's also some ogres down south that I remember were very easy questing back in the day. So I checked the cave and I couldn't get anything there. I was looking for a friendly. Obviously, this is somebody I need to talk to. So I'm looking for a friendly ogre. Couldn't see a friendly ogre. So I was like, right, I'll go try the other ogre area. And mooched on down. Only to find it appeared on my map as a quest. And I was like, oh. And I'm not saying questy, like the game actually put it in as a yellow dot on my map. And as I haven't got any collection professions like herbalism or mining, this made total sense. So I was like, okay, found the ogre. Then I had multiple things to do, and this was hell on earth. And probably the most embarrassing thing ever is that I had something to find that was sunken treasure. I had somewhere in the Highlands. I was like, where the hell is sunken treasure in the Highlands? I have never seen that. And then I thought of Thandor Span. I was like, well, there's water down there. Is there a shipwreck below there? And I'm looking around, like, trying to consider where this is. I know there's nothing in the river near the trolls. And then it dawned on me that Questy, and people got mad about this, has the quest listed. So I'm, like, mousing over the quest. And in one corner of a map, and I want to be clear on this, I have never been to this area in my entire life. Of the 20 years I've played World of Warcraft, I have never, ever, ever been to this area of Arathi Highlands, which is a shipwreck cove. But the quests were all like, sunken treasure, drowned sailors. I was like, well, it's probably over there, right? It's probably there. Let's go there. And I accidentally, while browsing the riddle, fell off the bridge to Thandor Span. So I was like, well, here we are. We'll have to go down there. Turned out to the right place. Found it straight away. But I had no idea how to get out. And as much as people were just like, dude, this is ridiculous. As somebody who'd never been there, and the path is round a corner from where I was looking, which was near a cave, which looked like it had a path going one way. To get out. I had no idea how to get out. I was like, do I really have to swim out of it? I was looking around for probably 5 or 6 minutes until I literally was like, there's somebody else here. I'm going to follow them. So I helped this priest do his quest and then followed him to see how he got out of this area. And he just used levitate or whatever, or slow fall, or whatever it's called for priests, and just wandered off onto the sea. I was like, well, that's not helpful. But I did then see the path. I was like, oh God, it's over there. Okay, got out. Got out of this area, never been to before. Finished up the other things, but the only last thing I had to do was actually the most blatant riddle of all, which was Swamp of Sorrows spiders. I was like, well, that's pretty easy. Wrong. Wrong. I was here for an hour, and I was convinced I was doing something wrong, because obviously I've got the riddles, but I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. And people were Pepe laughing at me constantly about this. Which is why this makes Season Discovery fun. Like, I'm not frustrated. I'm like, is this the thing? I don't know. I'm having fun. I'm like adventuring because there's no spider area. I went all over the map. I was there sunken temple with the elite dragons. I'm like, God damn it. It's something around here until I found spiders in the bottom right. There were spiders dotted around, and I managed to get the drop. And then I think someone in the chat went, yeah, there's like a 0.1% drop rate. It's like a ridiculously low drop rate for this thing because I killed so many spiders and then eventually got it. I was like, oh, thank God. Done. Which then gave me the Blood Surge rune. And I really like this. At first, I was like, But I remembered what it was, because it actually told me in the quest, because this is a quest rune. It just said, you will receive Rune of Blood Surge. I was like, what is Blood Surge? And then I remembered, I think it was a TOC set bonus. That's how far back in my memory I had to go. I was like, I think this was a set bonus I had in the Trial of the Crusader for free slam. I think that's what, which it is. And I was like, I never liked that proc too much. It was just like a little extra button to press for some reason. It's like they ran out of ideas. I was definitely a bit jaded at it that time. But interestingly enough, when I actually got it and read it, it's about Fury. It's like Bloodthirst, Whirlwind, and Heroic Strike or something can generate slam. And I was like, oh. And they give you a one-handed weapon. I was like, oh, I see. This is to give Fury some legs, because Fury doesn't shine till much higher gear levels, like level 60. This is to give Fury an avenue to go down. Really good job, Blizz. Like, completely flipped my mindset. It's like, I'm probably not going to go Fury unless it's like Biss, which it might be. But for now, like, I really like that. It's giving Fury an avenue to prop itself up, because Fury does rely on a lot of crit and some good weapons to do well, which you don't really get till higher gear levels. So I was like, oh, I really like this. This is a cool idea, Blizz. That was fantastic. I'd finished up with like 20% of a level to go. So as I finished my stream, this put us in step to get level 40. So what I did off stream was just do a couple of quests to turn in. So I'll ding level 40 on stream. So that's done. We will hit level 40. And I've ended with like 72 gold. So I'm a little ways off getting a mount, but I've got auctions up. And now I'm just enjoying myself, because our next video we're probably going to look at for this is finishing the runes and doing the raid, which is everything I want to do in Seasons of Discovery. Now, it's taken 5 days to get there, which were mistakes on my part of what I should have done. What I wanted out of it and what I got out of it were different things. And I'll do that in my full summary of Season 2 and what we should look for Season 3. But now, it's all good. It's just runes, getting them out, doing the raid, and doing the STV event, which is apparently really fun. So I've entered the really happy place, and as you can probably tell, just doing the runes itself has been a really enjoyable experience. Big thanks to Bex for that as well. So, that's where we're at. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.